Hello. I've just been looking at Andrea Jenkyns' press release, and it is extraordinary. As somebody who is now going to be one of the ministers in the education department, she is setting an extremely bad example. And looking at this as somebody who has been the head of English in a school, I think it's worth judging it simply on its literary merit. Now, I was going to look at it rather like one might look at an A-level student's work, and now I've looked at it again. I think it barely manages to get to the point where I'd be looking at it generously if I were marking a person from year 8. So let's take it paragraph by paragraph. On Thursday morning, I went to Downing Street to watch the Prime Minister's resignation speech. Not a nice line, but I can live with that. A baying mob outside the gates were insulting MPs on their way in, as is sadly all too common. Well, Andrea, a baying mob is singular, but the verb you've used, outside the gates were insulting, is plural, so that is wrong. Very simple, it's wrong. After receiving huge amounts of abuse from some of the people who were there over the years, this needs serious clarification because it's not... how long have these people been standing outside Downing Street, Andrea? For years. I think that's unlikely. You've simply not written things clearly. So you need to do some clarification. And then you've got an Oxford comma, which, of course, as you know, I hate. Philip Pullman likes it, but there we differ. And you then go on, and I've also had 7 death threats, you spell the word 7 there, in the last 4, now you put a numeral, years, full stop. 2, you've spelt the word 2, of which have been in recent weeks and are currently being investigated by the police, comma, I had reached the end of my tether. Well, your verb is bizarre. The comma, I think, should be a semicolon at the very least. But the bigger problem is your consistency. If you're going to opt for listing times 7, 4, 2, you either write out the words or you write out the numerals. You don't mix and match. So just be more careful in the way that you present your text when you've worked out what you want to say, Andrea. I responded and stood up for myself. Nasty words, but okay. Full stop. Just why should anyone have to put up with this sort of treatment? Full stop. Well, Andrea, we've looked at rhetorical questions, and this is a rhetorical question, not a terribly good one, but it is a rhetorical question, so you need to put a question mark at the end. And then at the very end, your final sentence, I should have shown more composure, but I'm only human. We covered the whole issue of bathos and pathos and empathy in the last term, and this is pathetic. Only human, not a good expression. Now, I really think you should go back, rewrite this, and when you are pleased with it, bring it back, and then we can have another session. But at the moment, it needs some care. And if you cannot use care when you are writing, I don't suppose you're likely to be using care when you're in a ministerial position.